This is the Quirky Cup Collective's reading journal. It is volume 3 in the colour Wisteria. My best friend got it for me for my birthday in April, which is a long time ago, I know, but I've been delaying doing anything with it. But I did have the idea that I'm going to turn it into my 5-star reads reading journal, as obviously I already have this reading journal as my basic, 2025 reading journal, so I didn't need another one for that. But I thought I'd use this pre-printed reading journal just to collate all of my 5-star reads over all time from when I started reading again last June and rating books until whenever this fills up. It is a pre-printed reading journal. I have vaguely seen what's inside it before, but not fully. So I thought that we could go through it first, flip through, and then start filling it out with my 5-star reads. So let's have a look inside. Starting off, the cover is very beautiful. It's a nice purple colour with gold gilding and some purple and pink accents in these flowers. It also has a very pretty spine and says here, Reading Journal Volume 3. And then on the back, it has a quote and the Quirky Cup Collective logo, and just sort of the same design as the front. The quote says, "We lose ourselves in the books we read, but we find ourselves there too." So opening it up, it's got these really pretty sort of lavender covered end pages, as well as a place to put your name. So we can do that when we start filling it out. And then it has the index, or the contents it's called it. I guess these are the pages they already have in. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, after reviews, this is then when all the areas for reviews are. So you could write in here which book is which, so you can quickly flick to it. And then I guess that goes all the way up to page 307. And then you have a few more things. And then it looks like some blank space at the end. Here is a little welcome from, I'm assuming it's the creator of Quirky Cup Collective. Despite it being an Australian brand, I actually don't know that much about them, but I think that is the owner, CEO, founder, whatever the word is for a business. I'm not going to read it on camera, but I have read it off camera, and it's just like a nice little blurb about it. And so yeah, that's what you get. Over on the next page, we have some nice little drawing that you could colour in, or you can leave just in black and white, whatever you like. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. We'll see how I feel when I'm actually filling it out. And we're up to the bookshelf. Welcome to the bookshelf. Consider it your little paper library where you can keep track of your books. You can either write your titles into the spine or colour in a book for every novel you finish, or both. It's up to you. So this, I guess, is very similar to the one that I have created myself in my reading journal. So it's similar to this. It's just much nicer looking because the person who created this is more of an artist than I am. So it has a lot nicer looking little ephemera, or whatever you'd call them, on the bookshelf. And then there's also a blank bookshelf where you can draw your own. So maybe once I fill all these up, if I ever fill all of these up with 5-star reads, I don't even know if there's enough review spreads for all of this, I could put more over here. And then we have another little picture with our reading essentials. Anyway, the next page is reading goals and to-do list. Set your own goals. Keep track of accomplishments. Be your best reading self, but also remember to make it fun. I don't know if I'll use this much because this isn't really like a place I'm doing goal-based reading. This is just to collate my 5-star reads. But maybe if I think of any goals or to-do lists to do with finding a 5-star book or anything, then I might put it in then. But I'm not sure. So there's 3 pages of that. And then we have upcoming releases. Never again will I miss another book release. Never again will I pre-order the same book twice. To that I solemnly swear. I don't think I'll use this either, but maybe I'll find a way. Maybe if there's like special editions coming out of 5-star reads that I want to keep track of or something like that, I could use this. But there are 4 pages of it, so it's not too much of missed real estate. Then, oh, look at these pretty little books. Then we have Reading Tracker. Ah yes, the classic Reading Tracker, a wonderful resource to track how much time you spend reading each day, month and year. It's also a fantastic way to hold yourself accountable for reading your books. I'm looking at you, book lover with too many TBRs. That's Rude. How are they calling me out? Use the space provided to either tick off the days or record how much time you spend reading. Simple. Interesting. I guess there's 3 of them, but I could necessarily not use the year. I could just use these and then mark off the date of when I finish a book that I mark as a 5-star, or start and finish a book. And then if they overlap, I could do it on another page or something like that. So we have 3 of them. Reading challenges. Record and follow your active reading challenges here, whether the challenge is issued by a website, Bookfluencer, or yourself. Challenge yourself with some reading prompts to get out of your comfort zone and discover a new world of reading. I don't think I'll use this either. That's okay. There's 3 pages of it. It's a nice thought, but I don't really do book challenges, and again, this journal wouldn't be where I'd put them even if I did. To be read. We all have a tendency to buy things and forget about them. The same happens to book. Sure. The same happens to book, and I plead guilty, Your Honour. Just because you push a book to the bottom of the pile or to the back of a shelf doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So be sure to record your TBRs here and mark them off when you read them. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Not a Footloose reference. Just another TBR. I think, how many pages? 2, 4, 6. Oh gosh, 12. And so you can just put the book, the author, and I guess you could tick it if you've read it or something like that. So there's 12 pages of that. Again, I don't know if I'll use it much, but that's all right. Oh, this is a pretty little bookshop. And we have quick reviews, short, sweet, and simple. A place to keep track of all your star ratings and log your books when you don't feel like writing a whole review, or you're reading information in one easy place. Okay, so I will use this as well. So this is similar to this page, where you just sort of write down your books without having to write down a lot more information. So it has book, author, pages, genre, format, start and end date, rating, and if you've reviewed it. So I can put 5-star books that I put in the review pages in here as well. There is 4, 14, 16, oh my gosh, 16 pages. I wonder if there's enough reviews for all of that. That'd be a lot of books. There's a lot of 5-star reads. And then we have a little fireplace mantelpiece type thing. And reviews and reflections. Time to get serious. Here we go. So this is, I guess, the big part. The part I wanted to see before I printed off anything to know what I needed to print off. So is it 1 spread or 2? It's 2. Oh gosh. Keeps going. Oh gosh, okay, so it's 3 spreads per book. So we have, I guess, the star rating up the top, the title, author, start and finish date, the genre, the format, pages, date published, read count. So I guess if I reread a 5-star reads, I could put a review in again if I felt like it, or just like do a tally, series and book number. Then we have the thoughts section. Did you enjoy this book? Yes, no, unsure. Well, this is going to be yes for all of them if they're 5-star. Would you read this book again? Again, that probably would be yes because they're all 5-star. Would you recommend this to a friend? Again, probably. There's some books I probably wouldn't recommend to certain friends, but in general, I would say any 5-star book. Then what did you like the most? And a little place to write. What did you like the least? What the trope is, so you can write that down. Your favorite characters, sort of like a breakdown of ratings, which is sort of like an adapted core pile type thing. It has cover design, writing style, story, and plot. What is the difference between those 2 words? Characters. And then any page references, I guess, that you want to note down of notability. Speaking of notability, notable scenes. I guess you can put in areas that you want to remember or that you particularly enjoyed. And then a little blank space where, I don't know, maybe you could put decoration or something like that. Over the page, we have favorite quotes. That is a very big space, and I don't know if I'll have many quotes for some of them. How did this book make you feel? What did this book teach you? And who was your favorite character and why? So it's sort of, and then it has a final review section, which goes for 2 pages. That's a lot of writing that I won't do. And then a page for notes. I don't know what possibly you could put in here. Maybe like if you borrow it out or something, I'm not sure. And then similar books, I guess, things that you could recommend to people if they liked this book. So that's a very long review section that has a lot of little parts that you fill out, but then also a big area for final review. So not really a place to put a cover unless you like put it down here, but it would be nice to sort of put it in the air. I guess you could put it there and then put favorite characters down here, or you could just put it there and not do favorite characters. Maybe that's what I'll do. So it's 5.5 by 4.5. Yeah, that'd be a pretty decent sized. My camera was tilted that whole time. I am so sorry. Barely, but this might be a little better. Yeah, that'd be a decent sized book cover that you could put there, because Favorite characters, like, I don't know, you have who is your favorite character and why over here. So I don't know if I particularly need it twice. So I think that's what I'll do. That's where my things will go. So we get this post-it note that has a lot of things on it because I refuse to throw out post-it notes until they're completely used. It was 5.5, right? Yeah, the cover is 5.5 centimeters high. And then that should work out. I'll check when I put them in my Microsoft Word, but I'll check that it shouldn't be too wide because it looks wider than it is tall ratio wise for covers anyway. I guess you could also decorate in a few different places if you don't have enough to write. I know I won't write 2 full pages for any book because I don't do a lot of writing. And then after that, it goes on again. You have a single purple ribbon, and let's see, reviews goes on to, I could just look up the page number in the index, but where's the fun in that? There we go. So goes on to here. So that is 240 pages of reviews. That is quite a lot. I forgot to mention there's gold gilding on these pages. Never showed you that. Yeah, there's gold gilding on the pages. But yeah, so there's quite a lot of space for reviews. So it will last a long time, especially for a specific forever type of journal versus like using this as a yearly journal might be a bit much, but it has seemed to be designed for more of a multiple year type journal. At the start of journal pages we're looking. And we have a comfy little reading couch and a bookshelf. I would love a bookshelf like this. Just built into the window, that'd be great. Then we have reading statistics. Want to break down your years of reading? This is a place you come to enter all the information you recorded and figure out how much of a book obsessed person you really are. You're welcome. Okay. Reading statistics, I guess. So there, put a line here. I guess you could put the year or the time period that you're doing the statistics for. Then there's books read, pages read, days read, quickest book read, slowest book read, and how many days. The genres, most read author, format, and it has, I guess, every format. I don't know what other could possibly be if you've done hardback, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. But we have diversity of female, male, BIPOC, and LGBTQ. And then a space, I guess, if there's another specific diverse group that you want to mention. We have the shortest book and the longest book. Ratings, so you can break down how many of them were stars. Number of volumes, so like how many standalones, duologies, or series. And then completed goals, TBRs, recommendations, or challenges. Probably, I think I could use this as a yearly summary of how many 5-star books I read and the stats for all that. Obviously, ratings would then be a bit pointless, but everything else, and then completed, there's not really much I'll do with them. So it's probably these 2 I wouldn't use, but the rest of them could work. And there are only 3 of them, so this book would only last 3 years. I guess you could duplicate it in the blank space. I'll have a think about it. We'll see. Could do it for one is multiple years or something, or yeah, who knows. And then we have book awards, and the winners are, this is just a spread and then it repeats. So we have a line again. I guess you could do a time period if you're doing awards for a time period. Best book, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Favorite characters, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Which book made you cry the most, made you laugh the most, made you the happiest, made you the most angry, did you learn the most from? That was confusing to say without which book in front of. Memorable quote, the best series, duology standalone, most disappointing read, most challenging read, least favorite books, 1, 2, and 3, least favorite characters, 1, 2, and 3. And then I guess this is just all blank space where you can make up your own awards that you would like to do. So we have 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming, yeah, 3 of these as well. So I guess whatever time period you choose for these reading statistics, you could also use for the book awards. I don't know if I'll use this because it's not really something I think about. And it's hard to think about when you're doing it over books that you've read over a random amount of time period, but we'll see. And then a Little Women book and another nice little drawing, and then favorite quotes. So it's just a whole bunch of lined pages, 2, 4, 10 pages of just blank lined space that you could make pretty quotes on or just write them down as somewhere to store them. I guess sort of similar to how in reviews sometimes, if I can find one, how in reviews sometimes I will put little quotes, and how sort of if you mark one on Kindle, it'll come up on Goodreads and things like that. So a nice place if you're reading a physical book and don't want to annotate it, you could just grab this out and write it down. That is good. I sometimes will do that with a physical book. I'll put it in my notes app so that I remember to use it when I get to my review section. And then library card. Never forget who borrowed your favorite book ever again. This is interesting. So book, borrower, date, and returned. I guess you could use this both for borrowing a book, lending a book to someone and borrowing it. What? Yes. Lending a book to someone and borrowing it from someone else. I don't know why my English failed there. I've never really borrowed a book. I just realized I have lent out a book. I could use this. I will eventually get that back. I can just walk in. It's my best friend's house. I can just walk in and grab it off her if I really need it back anytime soon. But you have 3 pages of that with quite a few lines. So unless you're an avid book takerer or giverer, you should have plenty of time to use this all up. Then we have recommendations. The days of deep diving through your phone notes is over. Keep all your recommendations in one place so you'll never forget a recommendation again. Okay, so title, recommended by, and read. This is nice. I could use these just because it's my 5-star journal. I guess because it's my 5-star journal, it is my forever journal in a way. So these sort of pages I could use in this journal, even though they're not technically related to being 5-star, just because this journal will always be around, whereas like this reading journal changes year by year. So I don't want to transfer those sort of things over every year. So that would be a good thing to chuck in here. And we have 2, 4, 5 of them. So that's a lot of book recommendations you can read. And then I think this is our last section, which is blank space. So we have very intense dot grids. They are very, very go-to. This is just a journal. Got this journal from Stationery Pal, and you can see sort of compared to them, they are a lot bigger and a lot fatter. I don't know. Something about them just makes them seem more obvious, even though this dot is technically, I can see it's a darker ink color. This one is technically more of a muted, like sort of the opacity of the gray is down. It is definitely sort of more obvious. Let's see. So my dot grid, I think, is just 5 mil, just a dead 5 mil. Yeah, it's 5 mil both ways. This one is 6. Yeah, it's about 6 both ways, so a bit different from the standard. You could still work with it. I don't think I'd ever use this, but I might find a reason that I need some blank space in this journal. It also comes with complete blank pages, so no dot grid or anything. And that it? Then that's it. And then to be continued. So that's how the journal looks. I think if we go back to a review spread, we can plan out what we need to do. So as I said, I'm going to use this area as the cover, and then I guess I just sort of fill it out. Maybe I'll bring my stationery to see if I sort of want to chuck some little stickers or something in that relate to the book and see how we go. We have having a look at my Goodreads. I have a shelf called, or a tag, I guess it's called on Goodreads, called 5-star reads, and this is just where I throw anything that has been marked as 5-star. But yes, so here all my books. I have 16 of them. Yes, 16 of them. So we can fill out those now. So I will quickly go away and get my stationery and print out these book covers, and then we'll be right back to fill out this lovely journal. After a short 2-day interlude due to running out of yellow ink just as I was about to print out all of these book covers, and a quality assurance check by Mikan involving him putting his tail in the camera lens, we are back to fill out this reading journal and then make it officially my 5-star reads journal. Let's go flip through again and see what we're going to fill out. If I can open it. Mikan. Can you move out of the way? Onto my lap. Okay, starting off, we are at the nameplate. I guess I will put some stuff on here, starting off with my name, which I'm sure I'm going to write terribly because I like doing this in cursive, but I'm never very good at it. Okay, it's not centered, but it could have gone worse. Oh, goodbye, Mikan. Okay, let's keep flipping through. We'll come back to the contents at the end. And actually, no, I could do it now because I know what order I'm going to put it in. Okay, that's all 16 put in. I mean, last year I read 14 5-star reads, and this year so far I've read 2 and it's November. So I think this will last us, who knows, honestly. Let's keep going. I don't really feel like colouring these in now. Maybe randomly at some point I'll be feeling like doing some colouring in and I'll just use these as a place to do that. But we have our bookshelf. Now, I think I'm going to colour them in sort of like the colours that... Should I do the year? Maybe I'll do the year actually. I guess we can do like this area for the key. And we'll do green for 2014 using my Tombow 192. And orange... Did I say 2019? 2024? Who knows? Orange for 2025 using the Tombow 910. One thing I didn't talk about when we went through this the first time was the page thickness. It does feel relatively thick and I'm noticing a tiny bit of ghosting. I'm not sure if you're able to see it of the green Tombow here, but no actual bleed through. When it comes to the nameplate, I think that is slightly thicker paper again, but there's no, I don't think I even see ghosting. So we'll just see how they hold up as we keep going through this. Maybe as I colour in more, we'll see if there's anything on this side. Okay, there we go. They are all coloured in. Again, I'm not going to colour in the little ephemera bookshelf items. I will do that another day when I feel like it. And I'm not going to use this blank bookshelf for now. Reading goals and to-do list. No, there's nothing we're going to do in this. Upcoming releases. I have that in my 2025 reading journal, so I don't need that. Reading tracker. We could do this here. Let's find the dates that I've read all of these books. Was this all on June 12? Yes, I read Heartstopper completely. Let's see if that bled through because I've used quite a few more layers. No, it's actually good. I think that's pretty good. I didn't look at the bookshelf either. Yeah, I don't even see any ghosting actually. So that's good. This paper will withstand you. I will keep going with filling this out. They are all put in. Let's keep going. Reading challenges, nothing to put in here. TBR. No, I'm not going to use it, at least for now. There is a lot of TBR pages. I forgot about that. Quick reviews. This is the next section. And we'll just fill this out next. Okay, that is the quick reviews all done. That was painful for my hand to write so much at once, but that's okay. I also found it a bit hard to do these stars nicely, like color them in nicely. I think it's because they're quite thin lines that I'm working around, so I just made my own line and then colored in that. Compare it to sort of the stars that I usually use in my reading journal. They're a lot thicker, the lines, so it makes it a lot easier just to color it in a bit nicer. Let's keep going. I forgot there's so many quick reviews. Okay. On to the actual reviews. Because I have so many to do and I don't think I can do them all at once because my hand is already dying. I will just show how I'm going to do it for the first one. So for Heartstopper Volume 1. And then I'll do the rest off camera and come back and flip through them and show you how they look. Let's start. So let's put in the cover first. Much bigger than I normally use. Like we said during the flip through, we're just going to chuck it here and then not really use favorite characters. Let me just put in all this information and going after that. Okay, we are on to the thoughts. Do you enjoy this book? Obviously. Would you read this book again? Obviously. Would you recommend this to a friend? Yes. What did you like the most? Okay, I think here we can do some decoration if I can find something. I don't really have any page references because I've never really saved any, so we'll just leave that blank. Move on to the next page, and I've done a bit of decoration. Favorite quotes? I don't really have any. Something I can look up on Goodreads maybe. This is a good one. We can use this one. And then keeping on going. Okay, my final review. So last year I did do the 2-sentence review things that I'm doing this year as well. I'm having a look at it, but I lazily, because I read all 5 volumes in one day and couldn't remember what happened in which volume, I've written a review that's just for all of them. I guess I'll just write it here and then maybe leave the others blank. We'll see when I get to them. Despite feeling like I wrote an essay, this is very little of final review space taken up, and there's also another page. That's a bit tough. I'll just leave them blank and I have no notes. And then similar books. I don't think I have any that I can think of at the moment. So that is our first review all done. And then let's go on to the next section and I will finish these all later and provide you with a flip through. That is the last one. So reading statistics. I'm not going to fill this out because I haven't decided what I want to do with it really. Book awards, same as reading statistics. Favorite quotes. If I find any throughout filling this out, I will chuck them in here. And I think that's, oh no, we have a library card. Library card I am going to use. We have, there we go. That's that filled out, and that's the only one I've borrowed out, and I don't have anything of anyone's at the moment. Recommendations. I don't have anything for this either, and that is the last page. Okay, that's all for now. I'll be back with the final flip through once I've put all the rest of the books into the review sections. So after 2 days of non-stop finger pain, pretty much, this is now all complete, and it's time for us to do our little flip through. I definitely found it easier as I went further along to the books that I've read more recently and know more intricately, that I just sort of had more to say, had more that I could put in the different sections, especially like books that I really enjoyed or books that I annotated, like Welcome to the Hyunam-dong bookshop. That one I obviously could write a lot about because I had a lot of quotes highlighted. I could remember a lot of the things, but then like Book 4 of Vampire Academy, I don't remember what happens exactly in Book 4 versus Book 3 and Book 5 and things like that. So each review is sort of a bit varied in how much information I had. I also didn't have what would be the best stationery for everything, but I tried my hardest to sort of get the theme there, and I think with the space I have left, if I ever do reread the book, I will just come back and do a secondary review once I finish the book in the same area rather than using a new review space. For now, we are all caught up, so thank you so much for joining me in creating my 5-star reading journal. If you enjoyed this video, you should check out some of my other reading journal content, and I will see you all in the next video very soon. Bye!